Yay!
We're live.
We're live. It's like that. How else do you start a live? It's like you always have to go, we're live. Everyone
Let's
does it.
pretend. Let's do it over and let's pretend like we're just very serious when we go live.
I can't.
I can't. Because there's something you're like, yeah, we're live.
Exactly. It's fun. It's fun when it says.
And nobody's watching right now. But how much are you aware of like maybe everybody that's going to be like, they're live? No, maybe 2 people, maybe.
Totally. It is true. It's good to wait a little bit before to let people on, and I suck at waiting.
We're aware of it already, so we're just tapping into the future.
Exactly. Oh, we got a like. We got 1 like.
I love that your hair matches your shirt.
And my coffee. Because why wouldn't I do that?
Why wouldn't you do that?
I love.
Did you do that on purpose?
Things to be beautiful. No, I'm not cognitively, but now that you're pointing it out.
I'm like, who's got time?
Yeah. So, why are we here today, Becky?
Because I want to kill everyone.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny too, like how often do we resist and suppress that urge? And, there are some days where that is, if you were willing to be truly honest with yourself, that is actually what is showing up. And so for all of you who don't know me, my name is Cara Wright. This is Becky Vaness. She's one of my friends and potent contributors to my life, living, consciousness, the planet, whatever else. And I did a call on the Killing Contribution. I did a one-off telecall. It was so dynamic that everybody on it was like, let's do an extension. So I have created 2 more calls, which start this Thursday. And if you weren't on call 1, you can purchase it and I will send you call 1. And then you will be on for call 2 and 3 live. So it's open to everyone.
Call 1. Like call 1 killed us.
Well, this
like by limitations.
Yeah.
There's just
It's really so the call came from an X-Men 2-day class that I had done, and this energy showed up. And for those of you that are familiar with Access, like the killing energy is something that we are familiar with. It's something that we all talk about. For people who are not familiar with Access, it's a very foreign concept. And even when you are someone who starts taking Access classes, when the killing energy comes up, most people, I myself included, are like, what?
Yeah.
That's not allowed. You can't be that kind of an energy. And what happened on call 1, for me personally, I was facilitating it. But what happened was, first of all, there was like a bazillion different directions we could have taken it. Because what the killing energy is really like your demand for something to change. And how often have we all had an awareness of this is not working, it needs to change? And how many of us have been like our whole lives, we've been taught that it's not allowed to actually be like that. You're supposed to be like kind and caring. And the thing that I love about this, and the thing that I have become aware of in my life, is you can be all of it. In fact, the thing you're not willing to be is the thing that controls you. It's the thing that you become the effect of. It's the thing that will mess up your body because you're suppressing it. You're not choosing it. You're refusing your awareness around it. And so call number 1 was kind of this just like a million different threads of energy.
An explosion of possibilities for me. It opened the door to possibilities that I actually wasn't aware of, and maybe I wasn't allowing myself even to be aware of because of a point of view or judgments. I don't even know where they came from. Where I'm like, wow, this is possible.
Exactly. And one of the things that I realized, which is why we called this little Facebook Live, is it allowed to choose the killing contribution, was that even during the call, I was facilitating the call. I have a lot of awareness around this, and a lot of what I have become aware of for myself personally has created more ease for me, has created more ease for my body, has created more ease for my life. I know that it has contributed to my life. And all the while, as I'm facilitating, there's this tiny little voice going, you are not allowed to be, facilitating people to have more access to this particular energy.
Yeah, or like, it's so like a hidden universal secret. They're like,
yeah, like you can't tell people. Yeah. And you can't allow people to have more ease with an energy that is, and it's like, it's not death specifically. Like the killing contribution is really truly like change or die. And it's the killing energy is change or die. Now, if you're aware of someone's choice that they're dying, like if they're dying in body and you have that energy with them or with it, you will contribute to their choice. Now, do we function at all here from it's okay for someone to choose to die? No, and definitely not now. I mean,
I actually had like two relatives that actually went through that. And I got into like a family argument. My grandmother chose to die at like 90, and she actually chose to die. My grandmother was not on any medicines, and she's like, hey, baby, I'm going to live until your niece gets married, and then I'm done. And I was like, all right, grandma, cool. Because first of all, I'm like, wow, that's really a cool conversation. Different than this reality of like, oh, I'm so sick or I'm miserable. It was none of that. It was just like, hey.
Or you can't choose it. Like
you can't choose it. Yeah. And you know what? She the month after the wedding that she said she was living to, she had a stroke. And the fight came in because I had my grandma's back so hard because she had a will. She signed it. She didn't want any risk, like be revived. At 90 some, please don't keep trying to keep her alive. Like her body's trying to die. She actually chose to die. I was there with her. And my brother was like, you're killing grandma. Mm-hmm. You are killing my grandmother. Because what happened, it was just like, hey, don't give her anything else. Like she had a stroke. She was in a nursing home. These are a few things that she said, I don't ever want to be in a nursing home. Don't let them just keep me alive, just to, blah, blah, blah. And so I honored her choice. It's the willing to give it to my brother to say, hey, this is what she chose.
Yep.
I didn't have a point of view, and I had her back.
You did. And having said all that, that is a very strange thing because
very, very strange.
Like even when people are somewhere in their world choosing it, their bodies are dying. They are choosing to transition out of their bodies. Like oftentimes they will fight it. Oftentimes they will think they're scared of it. Oftentimes they will not have a lot of ease, joy, and glory with it. And we don't have a reality here. We do not have cultures. Very few cultures have a healthy like space and ease with death. And it has created a massive amount of can I, can't I, should I, shouldn't I gotta fight, I gotta not, and like,
I don't know.
In COVID times, it's like, now we're all responsible for everyone surviving everything. Like, I don't know how the hell that happened, but that is where we all are at. So there's this weird, like, you can't impose what in your environment. You just always have to be right now, we're all being forced to be the effect of what everybody else has decided is the right course. Yeah. So there is that in the killing energy, like actually talking about people choosing to die. There is that whole element, but this energy is like so much more,
so much bigger.
It's so much bigger because it also has to do with like, are you willing to be that energy like with a project or with a group of people that you're working with, or with like something like, are you willing to know what you know so dynamically that you are the energy of like, this doesn't work, choose something different or go away. And oftentimes that is an element of the killing energy. And the thing that I have become really aware of is that every single person has a different access to this. It's not going to look the same for me as it would for you, Becky. It's not going to look the same for anyone. So again, part of this call too is like, what does that look like for you? And what does it create when you're willing to like, because sometimes the killing energy or the potency that it is will show up in those moments where you have that choice. Am I going to eat shit off of a spoon or am I going to have my own goddamn back?
Well, that's what call one really got for me. So like, if you look at the killing energy, even like the title of this, and I love even the graphic of it, it's such a cool graphic. But you know, like there's this like, oh, I know what that is. But what I was so amazed by call one was I was like, wow, that includes kindness. And you know what? It actually is the embodiment of like having my back, of kindness to me, choosing for me, and choice, and actually not having a point of view about what like anybody else, but just like, oh, this is just actually what I desire, and this is what I'm going to choose. And it's like change or die. And I was like, oh, change or die can actually even be kind.
Yeah, because when we're talking about die, it's like transform.
Yeah, it's like the death is
death is like, you know, and again, that's where the cultural weird thing we have around death is like, you know, death is final to so many people, but it's not final. Energy never dies. So the fact that we've had that, like the fact that we've had that this kind of global hoodwink of when someone dies, they're gone. Like no, energy never dies. We all know that. So, okay, cool. What is the transformation that's possible? So when you're willing to choose the killing contribution and the killing energy and trust you that in that moment, you know what's going to create what you know is possible.
Yeah.
It's like, it is absolutely empowering to you and to everyone around, even if they may not see it as empowering in the moment. It's like, it's a willingness to be that energy of change or die, change or transform.
It's like infinite possibilities. If you're willing to choose for you and have your own back, I was like, oh, like so many possibilities now. Wow, can I really choose that? Am I willing to be that energy? Am I willing to lose everyone or everything? And of course, there is this piece of it's just really energetic. It's not I'm actually leaving, you know, my kids or like losing this or that. It's really just like, oh, because I think in this reality, especially with death, and we've talked about this before, and I know I'm going back to death, but it has to do with fear. And we're so controlled in this society through fear. They instill through the media, through like, the viruses.
It fucking works. I'm sorry, it fucking works. Like I'm like, I have been in a state of like, wow, for the last year and a half. Because I think before the COVID experience, I would have never really gotten how propaganda and making people afraid will like change them and allow you to control them in a way that is beyond what you think is possible. Like I would have not considered that it could be so widespread. And this is a very strange like call and conversation to be having during these times, because like it is a daily choice, right? Like there's so many things that happen every day that you being willing to be this energy will have you set it, you will be on your own path. Like, and so all of those things you talked about, it's like, that's why it's like, you're always looking at like, most of us would have this energy of like, fuck, is this allowed? It's okay. And I get that because for a long time, like I can be a very intense individual. And a lot of people think I'm intimidating. A lot of people will think I'm a bitch, whatever, so on and so forth. And I spent a lot of time resisting choosing this energy based on other people's points of view, because I didn't want people to have that point of view about me. And if I'm actually willing to have the change I know is possible, the life I know is possible, to create the future I know is possible, it's not for pussies. It's not for, oh, I'm not going to say that because I might upset someone. Like, and sometimes it's not always, you don't always get it right either. You also have to be an allowance of making a mistake and maybe being too intense in one situation. But like, for me, it's just like, I'm willing to say, fuck it. I'm going to choose it. I'm going to see what it creates. And
it's like this, but this, if you're just catching this now and you're like, wow, what are they talking about? To me, this is almost like that little secret tool that you can even have. And it's not even something like when you're using this or being this, that you actually, it's just for you, just for fun. You actually don't have to be like, I'm killing you, dumbass.
No.
Although you can. I mean,
it's like a willingness to be aware that you know change is required and a demand in your world that it happen.
Yeah, it's even that, you know, I've been talking to you and I'm like, oh, really? Oh. And in my head, I'm just like, change that.
And also too, like we always go to like killing is a bad thing. Like if somebody was like, so say somebody's like having a fit, like physically having a fit, and you go in and stop them from having a fit. You killed the energy of the fit. Are you wrong? Or did you actually just contribute to something different for them to choose something different? Like I've said it a lot, like this is obviously a capacity that I have. I still am discovering what that capacity is, truly. And I used to go into births, like I was a doula for many years, and there's a lot of times where you would arrive at a birth and everybody is freaking hysterical. Now, sometimes there's reasons to be like a little bit energetically like, okay, what's going on? And sometimes it's just the nature of birth. People are as weird around birth as they are around death. Makes people do that. And so what I started to realize now is like, that is the energy I was when I would walk into births. Now, am I walking into births like with the perspective, I'm going to kill everyone? No, but what I am willing to kill is the insanity.
The insanity.
Stop. Yeah. Like this is not required. What is required so that you can get to the question that's actually going to create the change that you know is possible. It is literally like, it is a of energy. And if you're willing to be that, like how, like everywhere you've all been made yourself wrong because you're willing to be the person who's looking at it going, wow, okay, stop. Not make yourself wrong for it, not judge you for it, but just say stop. And then ask the question, which is the thing that we started talking about in the first call is like, this is an energy of transformation so that then you can go to question, and question is what creates more choice, and choice is what creates more possibilities. Like, and if you just sit there going, I can't do that. I don't want people to not like me. I can't say that. Like, I can't be the energy of whatever they're asking for. Like, y'all know the people who are choosing to, like, they're not happy. They don't want to be here anymore. Why would you refuse them or resist them? If you are aware of it and you know you can contribute to it, you're a dick if you don't.
Yep.
So we've got a lot of stuff that we've got all mixed up in this. And like, there's so much stuff here. Like we were going to do a real short live.
It's like a 5-day call though, I think.
It's not a 5.
Like an amazing thing.
And you know, I'm excited that we're going to have 2 more calls to really go into a lot of this stuff. Cause I got off at the first call going, we opened a lot of boxes, but we didn't have a lot of like time to really look at the energies and follow the threads. So I'm very excited about calls 2 and 3.
I am too. And if like, you know, you're watching this on Facebook or you're, you know, getting this in an email or, you know, like whatever it is, just even play with this energy that, you know, like Kara's even talked about and mentioned, even play with it for a day, play with it for 5 minutes and see what takes place in your world. You know, that's how, like, I always know, like, you'll know if this is for you.
Totally. And you're invited if it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thanks, Miss Becky, for coming on. I hope that was an amazing contribution to all of you as it was for me, because these classes are as much like gift me as much as they gift people. Yeah. How does it get better? So the first call is this Thursday. So if you're interested, we will put information either, obviously, we'll put information with the video and make it better.
Love that. And if you would like 2021, your motto to be change or die, this might be for you.
Totally.
See you soon.
Yeah, exactly. Bye, everyone.